Lively, of course, will be testifying.
I just think this is going to completely backfire.
Blake Lively is preparing to speak out under oath.
Blake Lively had a total courtroom breakdown after the judge compelled her to testify. And no, this isn't some film plot. It's her actual life in chaos. She's now making headlines as possibly the first woman dragged into her own trial, while simultaneously appearing as both the victim and the villain.
So we would, of course, expect her to be a witness at her trial.
Let's be honest, if she speaks under oath, the only suspense left is how quickly the prison gates will slam shut.
Use her dragons to manipulate Justin at every turn.
Blake Lively is officially on the witness stand. This isn't a Netflix legal drama or a scripted miniseries. This is real life, under oath, and it's happening in 2026.
Lively's lawyer has spoken out exclusively to People and has let everyone know that Blake Lively, of course, will be testifying.
If you listen to her lawyer, Michael Godley, it's all going according to plan, with confidence. But his tone sounded more like a desperate attempt to convince a room full of doubters that the ship isn't sinking.
Lawyer, when asked if she would testify, said, "The ultimate moment for a plaintiff's story to be told is at trial."
His exact words to People magazine were, "Of course she's going to testify." Then he repeated, "of course," multiple times like he was stuck buffering. When your lawyer says something 3 times, it's usually a sign that someone backstage is panicking.
Expect that will be the case here with Lively. So we would, of course, expect her to be a witness at her trial. Of course she's going to testify.
This wasn't some quiet confirmation either. It landed right after Blake's emotional speech at the Time Gala. In it, she spoke about her mother surviving a murder attempt before Blake was even born. Powerful? Yes. Emotional? Sure. Subtle? Not at all.
Andy, is this a good idea?
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. I mean, look, there's a lot that's happening that just feels like they're trying to look confident. Mm-hmm. I still don't believe we're going to make it to trial.
It felt like a revelation that conveniently surfaced as questions about her taking the stand intensified. Once people started connecting the dots, it became clear this wasn't about personal trauma. It was a calculated attempt to shape public perception, and the public didn't buy it.
Good luck, Blake. Good luck. I just think this is going to completely backfire.
Rather than receiving support, Blake got hit with a wave of sarcasm and mockery. The internet wasn't applauding, it was roasting. Comment sections lit up with lines like, "She's spiraling. This is PR, not bravery." And of course she's testifying. What other option does she have?
Lively's legal team insists that their case will also rely on, in quotes,
even her longtime fans are pulling back, unsure if they're watching a legal maneuver or a slow-motion PR disaster. What was meant to be a powerful moment instead came off like a trailer for a documentary nobody asked to see.
Evidence. Where?
Yeah, it's coming.
That's my biggest question, and that's the thing that I'm waiting on, right? Like, I've been dragged for it here and back, but I am trying to keep an open mind.
Here's the real problem. Her so-called testimony still lacks substance. No solid proof, just more dramatic headlines and legal noise. Despite all the fuss, Blake Lively has yet to deliver even a single piece of actual evidence.
We expect and hope that in Discovery we'll have the opportunity to really focus on what we believe to be the core part of the case, which is that this retaliation campaign was launched against Ms. Lively for her raising concerns about Essie.
No screenshots, no emails, not a single signed statement from anyone tied to the set. Nothing from Sony, no affidavit from a producer, not even a vague memo with a date. Her legal team has been promising receipts since day one, and the bag is still completely empty.
The statement to People, Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman pushed back on the claims and accused Lively of attempting to deflect from the facts of the case. And he said, "Although obviously uncomfortable for the Lively parties, the truth is not a distraction. The truth has been clearly shown through unedited receipts, documents, and real-life footage. More to come," Friedman said.
And people are definitely noticing. Social media has turned into a full-scale roast. Maybe the proof is on her kid's iPad is now a running joke. One viral comment said, "If the evidence is as solid as her acting range, we're in for a very long trial." Harsh, but it's not just trolls. Legal experts are questioning her credibility too. After all the noise, all we've gotten is spin.
Was the one who brought her high-profile friends into the situation without concern for their own personal or public backlash. As the truth shows, she used her dragons to manipulate Justin at every turn.
Let's not forget, this case started as a sexual harassment claim. That was the headline when everything broke. But now, her lawyers have shifted the narrative. It's suddenly all about retaliation. In simple terms, it went from, "this happened," to "they treated me badly after I spoke up." That's not just a soft pivot. It's legally fragile.
Baldoni's lawyer said, "Let's live stream your testimony in front of Madison Square Garden." And that's what he said.
And this isn't a conspiracy theory. Her lawyer literally said, "The core of the case is about the retaliation campaign. Not the harassment, not the incident, but the aftermath." That's like filing a lawsuit over someone ghosting your email, not the actual issue that prompted it. It's a move that opens the floodgates to backlash.
But now we've got the real stories coming in. Blake Lively's lawyer speaks out in first interview, reveals actress will testify in Justin Baldoni trial.
Because if there's no clear evidence of the initial harassment, then what's left? A bad day on set? An awkward vibe? At best, it's a weak stretch. At worst, it's a career-wrecking fabrication. The deeper people dig, the more the case looks built on headlines and vibes instead of facts.
People are saying, yeah, no, duh, no, of course she's going to testify. You know, that's like, you have to.
Even worse, this PR first, proof second strategy is giving the public major deja vu. People are exhausted from celebrity courtroom dramas with no receipts. They've lost patience for bold statements that never get followed up. Blake's team is stalling like they're sitting on a winning hand. Spoiler alert, they're not.
What do you got? So yes was the answer, Gottlieb said, the lawyer, when asked if Lively will testify.
At this point, the longer they withhold evidence, the louder the laughter gets. It's not just disbelief, it's the sense that Blake herself doesn't believe her own claims. If she did, we'd have seen something, anything by now. A redacted text, a blurred document. But every week, it's the same song. Dramatic storytelling, deflection, no receipts. Now that she's confirmed to testify, the spotlight's on. Can she back up even one claim?
I don't even think they think this thing's going to trial, but I certainly do. We've talked to people that say, no way this goes to trial. But again, with every day that goes by, we are getting closer to that day.
Because once she's on the stand, the PR armor falls away. It's just her words, and a cross-examination. If all she's bringing is dramatics and recycled interview quotes, this won't be a quiet breakdown. It'll be public, brutal, and possibly career-ending. She may not see it yet, but the stage she's stepping on isn't made for performance. It's made for truth. And so far, truth is missing.
You can tell he has a short fuse.
Yes.
You can tell by some of those statements he was going to try to make them read. I actually, maybe I do believe he's the last resort.
Ryan Reynolds hasn't even entered the courtroom, yet somehow he's already the strangest piece of this puzzle. He's not just Blake's husband, he's a named defendant in Justin Baldwin's countersuit. And weirdly, Blake's legal team is floating the idea that he might not testify at all.
Based on his motion to dismiss, I don't think that would go very well. I don't think he would come across very well to a jury. He does have a very short fuse, as you said, very sarcastic. I don't know how well this would go.
They're claiming he's been cleared. Not because the judge tossed out the charges, but because Blake's lawyer, Michael Godley, insists the claims against Reynolds are frivolous. That's cute, but calling something frivolous in a press statement doesn't make it disappear legally. The motion to dismiss? Still pending. Still real.
Continue to discover more intentional misconduct. So what else is there now?
It's been weeks since Godley filed to remove Ryan from the case. But so far, no ruling, no updates, no miracle dismissal. Which means, legally, Ryan is still very much in play. And the longer the silence lasts, the more suspicious it sounds. Especially now that new details are coming out, shifting his role from concerned spouse to potential corporate risk.
Disney actually complicit in Ryan using shareholder revenues for a personal grudge. I would be surprised to learn that this type of corporate waste would not lead to much more exposure for those that have been complicit in affecting shareholder revenue.
And this goes beyond personal beef. If true, this could expose a whole new level of liability, one that reaches deep into corporate waters. According to Baldwin's legal team, Ryan allegedly funneled shareholder funds into a revenge project. Not metaphorically, literally. Disney shareholder money redirected to bankroll a film aimed not at art, but at revenge.
I didn't know that until all this came out. Like, I would have never known unless you knew Justin. Like, I'll say this. We've talked to crew, and I've had multiple crew members go, like, oh, we totally knew that was Justin. When I watched Nice Pool in the movie, like, oh my God, they're totally making fun of Justin. Like, before all the drama and everything was coming out, like, they could tell. Like, people who knew Justin could tell that Ryan was absolutely making fun of him. So
Let's talk specifics. The character in that film? Gordon Reynolds. And guess what? Multiple crew members went on record telling Popcorn Planet they recognized it immediately as a parody of Justin Baldwin.
but is that parody? That's where I'm worried. Like, I don't know. Like, he didn't come out and say Justin Baldoni is this and da-da-da. Like, he didn't. He called him Nice Pool and changed it around, called him Gordon Reynolds. Now, obviously, we've deduced to put it together he was the inspiration. There's no doubt.
This isn't hindsight either. These were red flags spotted on set, long before any lawsuit. One crew member even called the portrayal weirdly specific and unmistakably Baldwin. If Ryan really used Disney's money for that, that's not petty. It's shareholder fraud dressed up as creative license.
Justin's complaints against Ryan and Blake for defamation and taking over the project and doing what they've done, they have caused damages to him.
And this is where it gets truly dangerous. Because if Disney was even remotely aware, or worse, involved, this doesn't stay in a courtroom. It becomes a full-scale corporate disaster. Imagine a publicly traded giant like Disney being grilled by investors over one of their biggest stars using studio funds for a personal vendetta. That's not just bad PR, it's SEC-level scrutiny. And right now, lawyers are combing through Disney's quarterly reports, looking for where that money actually went.
The Wayfair Foundation is shut down. Those are things that are showing damages, which I still have yet to see anything of Blake or Ryan that is showing damages or problems, right?
While Blake's team is scrambling to dodge subpoenas and frame Ryan as a supportive husband, reality paints a riskier picture. He's not just skating between witness and liability, he might have to answer serious financial questions. If he doesn't testify, it'll look like he's hiding. If he does, he might have to explain how a revenge character got a budget and a green light.